He's a member of Toastmasters International since 2017, currently serving as Vice President and for Education of Oracle Advanced Toastmasters Club and Club Coach of Sungai Petani Toastmasters Club. Welcome, Mr. Kugan. Okay.
Okay, the floor is mine.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay. A very good evening to everyone. Rotary Club of Sungai Petani. Am I saying it correct? Rotary Club of Sungai Petani. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I come from an institution that is called Toastmasters International. At the international level, there has been a lot of collaboration between Rotary International and Toastmasters International. Not sure if you're aware of it or not. Just last month, they did a webinar between Rotary International and Toastmasters International, and a lot of activities happened, stuff like that. Everything happened in Zoom. So the idea of Rotary International collaborating with us in Toastmasters International, it's not something that is bizarre. It's not something that is new. This is happening. It's happening at the international level, but from the feedback I have received at the lower levels, the collaboration is still not satisfactory. But who cares about that? If I want to be blunt, let's make the change. If there's no collaboration for this, we will bring the change. We can collaborate. We can make a difference. Yeah, change or difference. Sorry. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my club, the Oracle Advanced Toastmasters Club. Our club is based in Penang. Now, in Toastmasters, we call certain clubs community clubs. For example, the Sungai Petani Toastmasters Club, the Butterworth Toastmasters Club, any Seberang Jaya Toastmasters Club. This is all community clubs. That means everybody can join, everybody is welcome. When you speak about advanced club is like in Toastmasters, we form like an elite group. That means a few seasoned speakers after 5 years or 6 years, we feel, okay, let's join the advanced club. So we want to call ourselves Big Shot. But I am no Big Shot. It's just that after 5 years, I decided, okay, I have a community club. I also want to join an advanced club. That is how I joined an advanced club. Now, my introduction to Toastmasters International began in my first year when I was a law student. At that time, I was studying my law degree in ATC Penang. And that's when a classmate of mine recommended to come and join Toastmasters to improve on my public speaking skills. And ever since then, I've never looked back. And that friend of mine, he is also a member of Rotary. His name is Tani Malay Lechmanen. Any one of you know him? Yeah. Yes, so he was the same person who brought me to Toastmasters. He also told me you should join Rotary. I said, hold on here, because I'm not that rich yet. I must start looking for him. Then join Rotary. I joked with him. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, the purpose of my visit here today is to maybe convince you guys or persuade or whatever you can bring to collaborate in this workshop titled Public Speaking 101. Now, it's 101. It's about educating people to become public speakers, to enhance their public speaking skills, to enhance their presentation skills, and also to give them some form of confidence, the basics of public speaking, as we say. Now, if you're looking to come to this course, you want to become a professional speaker, I'll tell you right off the bat, this is not the course for you. But if you're a beginner, you want to learn the basics of public speaking, you want to give this workshop saying, you know what, I am confident I can now come out and speak in public. This is the right course for you. Mr. Bernard, the next slide. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the two, objectives that I wish to attain from this workshop that we're about to host. Number one, I want participants to learn about the essential techniques and strategies to excel in speaking. And I also want people to enhance their public speaking skills and become better communicators. I always want, especially the younger generations of people, to come out. Sometimes they come out, we don't want that. We want people to come out, speak. In fact, even if they can't become professional speakers, they are confident. They can begin and speak on stage. So with that in mind, I had designed this workshop. And these ideas, you see, is something which I developed by myself after years in Toastmasters. It's not something it's not a big thing, it's not a prototype or anything like that. It's something that is solely based on my experience. Something which I think, a format which we can deliver to the younger generation to develop their public speaking skills. So that is ideas. Now, what is the idea? What is ideas? Let's begin with the I, which is ideas itself. Now, when you want to give out a speech in public speaking, you want to come out, you want to speak in public, what is the most important thing you need to have? Is it your voice? Is it your body language? Or is it your gestures? No. None of this matters if you do not have a good content. What is your idea? What do you want to achieve from the speech today? What are your objectives? Do you want to inform? Do you want to persuade? Do you want to inspire? What are the objectives you have? So that is why it is very important that we teach the younger generation about how they have structured their speech first. How are you going to give the intro? How are you going to build their content? Don't come on the content, give all the grandfather stories on. What's your objective? Your objective is you want to introduce yourself, suddenly you start talking about your grandfather and the villages. If you want to introduce yourself, just stick to yourself. Why you go so far about this? So that's why we want to eliminate all the unnecessary parts. People come out, they do not speak, they just keep on speaking. We eliminate the parts which are not necessary and stick only to the objectives, the message they want to convey. So that is why idea is very important. And last but not least, your conclusion. In Toastmasters, there is a saying, what you say last. But the thing you say last will leave a lasting impression on the audience. So the conclusion is the most important thing, if you ask me. I've participated in Toastmasters contests. Trust me, I've never won at I've won at the area level. I've never won at the division level yet. But I've seen people at the international level and this and all that. And usually what is that edge the winner has over the first runner-up? It's the conclusion. How the winner makes the conclusion, how he was able to persuade the audience. That is what determines the winning speech. So that is why conclusion is also important in this ideas technique. You want people to structure their speech into an organized content. From the introduction to the content, and finally, conclusion. So that is I for ideas. Following that, D, your delivery. Delivery. When you speak about delivery, what's the most important thing? First thing is your body language. How confident are you on stage? How do you when you decide the speaker is not confident or not? He puts his hand like this. Says I, and his hand is there. No eye contact. That speaker he has not mastered art of body language. A very good public speaker, he always keeps his hands wide apart. The hands will decide everything, as we say. So this is how you come out, you speak. You maintain the eye contact with the audience, in spite of how fearful you are. You know how scared I am right now? God knows. But still, I'm going ahead. I'm doing it. Because I want to achieve something. So that's why it's very important. And then if you're doing on a presentation, what is very important in the presentation? What you shouldn't do in a presentation? You cannot look at the slide and say, this is the mistake I just did. I said, because I was nervous. So these are the one of the things we want to knowledge, we want to give the younger generation. We want to tell them, you should not do this, you should do that. Become a very good public speaker. And thirdly, engagement. How do you engage with your audience? Usually, you come out, you just come out, you tell all your stories, you go back, people will get bored. I can guarantee you. So what the good speakers they do? They will keep the session alive. They will come up, they will ask questions. Hey, right or not? Correct? They will come, make up the session, and then they will also engage with the art of storytelling. And good public speakers, the way they speak itself, it will be like an animation. When they're taking up the story, you will feel like, hey, I'm watching a movie. Because that is how good they are when they're delivering. They're connecting with you through the storytelling. That's why I put their use of narratives to deliver their messages. They come out, the minute you sit there, you'll be like, hey, did I watch a cinema? I watched the international level, you know, when you go for the contest and all that. It won't look like, it won't feel like a speech. It will feel like, wow, I just watched a movie, you know, because that is so good. That's how you use the personal appeal. That is how you connect storytelling. And then you always leave some room for pauses. They leave some room for questions. They allow you, when they ask a question, they allow you to digest the question first. Then okay, they will start to speak. See, when we engage, we must make sure our audience are able to resonate with us. You can be Albert Einstein, you might know all the technical things, but brother, I hate to break it up to you, they're all not Albert Einstein. You cannot come out, you cannot say, oh, this thing like this, the Homo sapiens, this, you can come out with all your jargons. But if the people cannot absorb what you say, then your presentation is I wouldn't say failure, it has not achieved its target. Dr. Bernard, next slide, please. Okay, so this is the idea building. Just now I mentioned. How do you build your ideas? This is something which we can cover in detail. So first of all, we have to come up with a vision. This is something which I mentioned earlier. What is a vision, you know, in your speech? What do you want the audience to get after listening to your speech? Just like a movies. Now, if we walked in Titanic, after watching Titanic, we go out, we're crying, isn't it? Oh, she could have just saved her. Why? She could have just saved him. Why didn't she take him out? Then we're crying. If you watch action movies, we're like, oh, super hyped up. We watch horror movies, we are scared. Similarly, speech must also have a vision. What is the impact you want to leave in your audience? Trust me, the audience coming in, the audience going out, they must have a different perspective. Like if now, after I'm done giving all these presentations, if you're like going to walk out of the room with a different perspective, that means I know I've already done it. So that is how we have to teach. You must find your vision. What is it that you want to convey to this world? And then you create the outline. How am I going to put my introduction? My introduction must be short and sweet. It must cause curiosity, but it should not reveal too much. You cannot in your introduction say everything, then the audience is like, ah, I know what you're saying. So it must be there, but it's just like you just open half of the curtain, you open the full curtain. The curiosity must be there. People are like, yeah, I'm waiting to see what they're going to say next. And then keep it positive. Nobody wants to listen to a speech which is very, very negative. Okay, maybe in terms of a political speech, maybe again you can bash your opponent, this and that. But in terms of the public speaking, the art of persuasion, which we are talking about, we want to keep it positive, keep it the positive vibes. We want everybody to live feeling good, you know, no negativity. We're not going to condemn anybody. We are not going to say this guy's that or that. Even if we feel when something is not right, we don't say that person is wrong. We just say we have not achieved the target yet. It is not satisfactory. So we use all the positive words. Even when we want to point out the mistake, we are telling him, sir, this is your area for improvement. We are not saying, oh, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that. So similarly, in your entire speech, it must be positive from the start right till the very end. Then give examples. Give examples can be, you can use many things to use examples. One of the good ways is your personal story. You can say about how when you were in the primary school, you did that, you did this. So this is not examples, you reinforce with your examples, allowing the audience to resonate with what you're saying. Sometimes we will give a fact. We will say, studies show this, studies show that. Hey, come up with some certain examples also. Examples which appeals to the audience. That is why examples is very important in a speech. Last but not least, end with that impact. How are you going to end with the impact? There are a few areas. One of it is call to action. You tell the audience, from today, I want change. I can't hear you. I want. Then you get all the audience to say change. This is one of the ways you end with impact. Or sometimes you just leave a message. You say, you end on a bombastic note. You drop the mic. That is also leaving with impact. So these are ways you find the areas where I can leave the audience with an impact. What you say last is going to last among the audience. Next slide, please, sir. All right, and then the speech delivery, which I mentioned earlier. When we talk about speech delivery, these are the three important components. One is your body language proficiency. I want to tell you all this, when you're giving a speech, it's not just the words that is traveling in the speech. Your hand gestures, body movement, everything is traveling. For example, I wanted to say, I had a very bad breakup, I wanted to say. So I took out my blazer like this, I said, very bad breakup. I did it like this because it's a body language. I want to appeal to the audience. So your body language must also move together with the speech. Okay, it cannot be any erratic movement. Some people speak and their hands will just move like this. It's erratic. We're not looking for erratic movement. We're not looking for people to hold their hands like this. We want people to move their body language on purpose. Every single thing they are saying is accompanied with the appropriate body language, with the appropriate facial expression. Here, speaking of facial expressions, you want to say, my dog died, my grandfather died. But then you say, oh, my grandfather died. Is it going to resonate? No. So you have to say, unfortunately, after a long struggle with diabetes, with heart something, I lost my grandfather. This is how you play with your facial expressions if you want to connect with the audience. And vocal variety techniques. Vocal variety is very important sometimes when you sing. You cannot always be loud. You cannot always be too soft. Your vocal variety must fluctuate when you're giving a speech. For example, sometimes some people, very good speakers, they will imitate what they heard clearly. For example, if they heard somebody speaking in an Indian accent, they will repeat the whole thing in an Indian accent. Oh, I went to India the day, then I saw one fella. The fella came up to me and said, "Arey, that is why we should never send girls to school, because they start behaving like boys." See, I played vocal variety. This is how we can play vocal variety to connect with the audience. She's laughing, that means I did it. Okay, so the next, that's great. Then the engaging techniques. This is something which I also had. Said it again. First impression. First impression matters a lot. How you come on the stage, how you look at the audience. What's the first word you utter from your mouth? That's the first impression you leave on the audience. Some people, they will come there, they will just look at the audience. You know why? Because want the audience get an impression on them. And some see, they will speak with all their voice. This is how you develop the first impression. And then here, visual storytelling. There is no better way to connect with somebody than using storytelling. Why? Sometimes we study something, right? Next day we come out, we forget already. We don't know what we studied. But why do stories last with us until the day we die? Because stories are visuals. They play with visuals, isn't it? So, for example, your parents say you need to work hard. You need to work hard in life. Then you will tell to the 5-year-old you need to work hard in life. He wouldn't understand a single thing. He'll say, like, father is just blabbering. What is this old man blabbering about? But try telling him the story about the rabbit and the tortoise. How the tortoise, was hardworking and he won the race. You connect. That is why storytelling is very important. Similarly, even as you age, the storytelling is important. Just that some of us, we neglect about it, we forget about this and all that. But at a very basic level, human mind works on imagery. That is why visuals is very important. If now I was to ask all of you all to close your eyes and think apple, you're not going to say A-P-P-L-E. You're going to think about the apple fruit. Whether it's green or red, I don't know. That's depending on your individual mindset. So that's why we have visual storytelling. It's very important if you want to connect. Use elements of storytelling. Yes, you must keep facts. I'm not saying don't use facts, don't use what you call studies have shown like this, facts have said this, and then anything like facts. But leave some room for the imagery, for the storytelling. Because only then you can keep the audience engaged through your speech. Then interact. Sorry, interact means not stop. Hi, Dr. Bernard, like this, not like that. In your speech, there's some interactive elements. So this, when the minute you're speaking, the speaker will be like, hey, yeah, isn't it? What he says makes sense, isn't it? So if I was just to say, we all need to exercise, the importance of exercise, and then I keep on going exercise is this, exercise that. But then imagine if I just talk, hey, do you all exercise? Then the audience are like, they are interacting already. They want to answer or not. So this is how you keep the interaction with your audience alive. Or then you leave some pauses. When you leave some pauses, so the audience is like, hey, I'm saying something. Keep the interactive element alive. And finally, the takeaway message. What the moral of the story is, you don't have to put it out literally what the moral of the story is. The way you end it, there will be a moral value which the audience will take it to heart and they will go home. So this is the thing which I mentioned about engagement. Use storytelling, come up with a message which the audience can take back with. Play with their emotions. Yes, you can use facts, you can talk about incidents that happened, you can talk about historical facts, studies, recent studies, contemporaries and all that. Use. But that is only 20% in a speech. The other 80% is going to come from the storytelling. It's going to come from that. The message which the audience can resonate with. It makes sense. That's how it works. Next slide, please. Finally, okay, this is something, the conclusion. After we are done, what we want the audience to get from this thing. Number one is we want them to review the skills and technique. That means they already know this is the skills. This is the technique that we need to use if we want to become a good public speaker. They know that they must play with their vocal variety. They know that they must craft a speech with a purpose. They know they have to craft a speech with a purpose. They know they have to use their vocal variety carefully, their body language, and also how they want to, everything which I said, the storytelling. They must be able to know how I'm going to, conduct a research and how I'm going to present it to the public. They need to know, okay, this is the skills that I need if I'm going to deliver this particular topic with the audience today. Then goal setting. Now goals will vary from individuals. If you're a professional, maybe your goal is different. If you're a beginner, what is the first goal setting you must set? I must be able to come out and deliver a good icebreaker speech. So if you're a working professional, maybe you would say, I must deliver this speech, I must prepare to speak professionally. So you must say, okay, I'm preparing to speak professionally, I must know, I need this, I need that. If you're a student, it is how I'm going to come up with a good research, how I'm going to present that research to the audience, which is audience friendly, which can connect to the audience. And finally, is the feedback session. And Toastmasters is one very important component other than speaking in public. We call it the evaluation session. I'm just curious, how many of you have ever attended a Toastmasters meeting before? Anybody here? You have? So have you seen an evaluation session in place? Okay. Evaluation session is after a speaker comes out and delivers a speech, he will have an evaluator right there, sitting there. And then the evaluator will come up, he will say what you did good and what are your areas for improvement. Not wrong, not what you did wrong. What are your areas for improvement? So this is how you provide feedback. So during our session, we will have practical sessions. That means we'll have a speaker come up covering each topic. And after the speaker is done, we can have a practical session. We call all the audience, come try to do something that you can speak and come and present. So there'll be facilitators sitting right there to help tell the participants if they did good or not, what are the areas for improvement. So after this feedback, people will know, okay, what are the goals I'm going to set the next time I'm going to speak. And what is my aim? It is a step-by-step approach. First step, icebreaker speech. Second step, I want to connect with storytelling. Third step, I want to speak professionally. Fourth step, I want to become the world champion of public speaking. So last but not least, this learning outcome. This is something I just want to share with you all. I want to achieve these three criteria, the 3C. Participants who participate in our program, they must be able to speak with confidence. They must be able to speak with connection. I think I spoke a lot about connection already. Connect with me. That means 10 years after this ago, they will remember, oh, that fella came out and he delivered that speech. I always remember it. Last but not least, consistency. Now, there's a saying, it's my favorite saying, consistency over perfection. You can embrace your imperfection. You don't have to be perfect to become the best speaker in the world. In fact, now, I'm speaking here, so I know already what are the mistakes I made. I know that I'm not perfect. I'll go back, I will think back, what is the thing I did wrong? What is the thing I could have improved? But that doesn't mean, that's not stopping me from going out and delivering another speech again. Because 2 weeks ago, when I went to Butterworth Rotary Club, they didn't ask me to speak here. They asked me to sit and just speak among them. So I was coming with the impression, I'm just going to sit, I'm just going to talk with everybody. When President said, I want to speak here, oh my God, no, my heart started beating. But because of the consistency which I have developed over the years, in spite of my fear, I was able to find my voice. 7 years ago, if you asked me to read, I would say, it's stomach ache, sorry, I cannot participate, I'll just go home already. Like a high school kid. But in Toastmasters, after 7 years in Toastmasters, this is what I have learned. Fearless is not the absence of fear. Fearless is speaking in spite of all the things that fear you the most. Thank you very much. So does anybody have any questions? Okay, if there's no question, I would just like to clarify something. When I went to Butterworth Rotary Club, they asked me a question. How old you want your participants to be? What is the targeted age of your participants? Now, I told them clearly, primary school students, we cannot do this. Primary school students, cannot. At the same time, when we say to people, we say we want 18 and above. But at the same time, I don't want to put a criteria or only 18 years old and above can come. I don't want to say that. So maybe we can use a 16 years old or 15. That's what I told them. I told them, yeah, primary schools, it will be too advanced for them. We tell everybody that's 18 years old and above. But maybe we can accept 16 years old or 15 years old if they're ready for it. Because, this is something which I believe secondary school, upper secondary school students, they can definitely connect with these kinds of things. That's what I told them. Any other questions?
How do you think we can collaborate with you?
Okay, collaborate as for Toastmasters part, we will provide with all the speakers. That means, like I said, for vocal variety, we'll have one speaker. For body language, we'll have for all the areas, which I will furnish to you later. These are the 4 or 5 areas that we're going to cover. We will bring speakers, and then we will also provide the facilitators, because we believe this is not just theory. Because theory means people cannot maximize on the participants' potential. There will also be some practical session. So that means after the speaker has spoken, we leave room for some practical session for the audience to write down, participate and all that. And during this practical session, we need to have facilitators with them to guide them. And then we can call the audience, members of 2 or 3 of them to come out, speak there. We want them to overcome the fright. So the facilitators and the speakers on our end, Toastmasters will provide. I will form my team. I'll bring everybody to come and conduct the workshop. Okay.
It's like a one-day course.
Yeah, one-day course is the best, because we don't want to drag around for 2 or 3 weeks. We want everybody to come there. They're okay with it, and they can go home. So as the number of targeted participants, I previously said 15 to 20 people, so like that. Or you want to go with 30 or like that also can, but you have to be informed earlier so that we can bring as much people as we like from our end. And then in terms of Rotary, any one of you want to be a facilitator, if you think you know about this, you also want to help, you can also be a facilitator. We can brief you in the morning, about what you can help out as a facilitator, and you can also join. So it depends on Rotary, but how you all want to organize this and how much audience we want to target. My frank opinion, let's not have a lot of people, because let's have a small crowd. If we want to do it a lot of people, we can do it stage by stages. First stage is a different, on this day is a workshop, then maybe 3 months from now, another workshop. So we can have a lot of participants, but one day, too many people, I think it's not practical. Too many things are going to spoil the broad. Okay, yes, speaking of charge, I had told previously, charge, we leave it to Rotary. If Rotary, you all want to, on that day, if you all want to provide food for the participants, this and this, you all want to charge a fee, leave it to you all. From our part, we are all doing this on a voluntary basis. We come, we conduct, we go. We don't need any charges. That's what I said. And then, of course, at the end of the day, we can say that this is a collaboration. between two of our organizations.
How advanced we need to inform you? Any time period, 2 weeks, I mean, 1 month.
How much notice do you need?
You mean to form my team and all that? I think 1 month is okay lah. 1 month prior, 1 month prior, so you all say that, okay, we're going to do it on this particular date, then I'll immediately form my team, get back to you all. So after that, we can have like, maybe if it's needed, we can have a Zoom meeting or something, you know, so that I can update on my end, you also can update on your end.
How many sessions has this gone through?
You mean,
Check, right? Previous.
we have conducted previously like this. I've attended, I have never personally become the OC yet, but I've attended a lot of sessions where I was one of the speakers. I think I lost count already. I've attended a few such workshops like this. I've attended. So it usually depends on what the organizers want. Based on that, the organizing committee, they will come up with all these sessions. But what I can tell you, the most popular ones: know your purpose, vocal variety, body language, how to evaluate. These are 4 very popular. Most workshops you go, they will have this. Sometimes if you want to advance a bit, they will include the art of persuasion, this and that. So I can also, since I use engagement a lot, I can also come up with a session or speak with impact. How do you engage and leave an impact with the audience? So it depends. Once we formalize this and I tell you all these things we can do, then I will tell you what are the few areas which we are going to cover on that particular day. But 9 to 5, be good lah. 9 to 5, we can have 4 sessions easily we can do. Try to bring in another one lah. 5. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. That's all. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.